John.
There is something to be said about humans wanting to be unified. We are a species that does want to have good human loving connections and just good connections in general with strangers and people that you know. Like you said, it didn't matter after 9/11 where you came from, what race you were, what gender, this, that, vax, anti-vax, all that seems like massive nonsense now in this world. And I also want to say the fact that personal responsibility, in my opinion, just seems to have taken a back seat for a lot of people, which I don't understand, because I'm a guy who's still a young guy, you know, in my head, right? I still have this thoughts, and I cannot for the life of me understand why personal responsibility is taking a back seat in the world right now. Who is responsible for you, what you do, how you succeed, what you're going to do? I mean, regardless of if you need help, you can still ask for help. You can still need help. Having personal responsibility for yourself doesn't mean you can't ask for help. Doesn't mean you don't need help. We all need help at sometimes, right? And so I cannot understand why that's not being preached as the forefront, because it doesn't make sense to me how we're going to pick up a society in general, whether you're a man, woman, kids can start to learn personal responsibility as they should very, very early. Why did you pour that out? You shouldn't have poured that out. There's no more left now. Okay. And so I try to get this behind people to try, because the excuses that people want to say and want to believe, they're usually bullshit. Whether that has to do with what you want to do in your life, a reason why you couldn't go here, couldn't play here, couldn't make this money or all this stuff, even if you have legitimate excuses. And I think you've probably seen this, and I've at least seen this from players that I've played with, from the great people that I've spoken to, just in the short time that we've had this podcast. Even when it looks like they got screwed over, they still blame themselves. I've read some of Kobe stuff. I've read some of Michael Jordan stuff. Even when it looks like, I had the flu, you had everything in your favor to be like, I shouldn't have done it. They still blame themselves.
Yep.
They still figure out a way to say, what could I have done in that position? And I don't understand why that isn't the prevalent mentality in society.
I think bad ideas lose. I think hitting women is a bad idea. I think abusing your kids is a bad idea. I think forcing women to wear a hijab is a bad idea. I think overtaxing small business owners that need the money to create jobs is a bad idea. I think shutting down restaurants during COVID, when you called it essential and non-essential, and 50 million people lost jobs, and we had to print 6, 10, 12 trillion dollars of money that hit the economy, and the economy is now 29,300 Dow, S&P's at 3651. Those are bad ideas. And the best thing about bad ideas, they may look good for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but eventually all bad ideas will be exposed due to the help of social media and people like yourself who will host a guy like me, where your audience is going to sit there and say, I don't like this guy, but he made sense. I like this guy. I never thought about it this way. I never thought about that way. And then they have to decipher through all this stuff and say, let me go do some research. If that guy, member of parliament, really said this, let me go see this Twitter, Armenian genocide. The guy really said this. Wow. Let me go. And then we keep getting smarter. So again, as crazy as the times are today, gradually bad ideas are getting exposed left and right.
It's hilarious that you say that, especially now. We had a guy named Uri Geller, controversial guy. Once again, same thing happened when we posted up. Now, this guy's got a whole bunch of claims that I couldn't even, for the life of me, verify in any sort of way whatsoever. I really could care less. Let me talk to someone who's an interesting individual. Let me see what he says. At the end of the day, he had a message. I gave him a chance at the end to just kind of speak what his message was. It was a message of, personal belief, going for what you want, getting educated, all sorts of good things. We posted that. We posted that part. Out came all the trolls to come talk. How could you talk to this person? I've lost all my respect for you, Will. Nah, I can't believe that you're talking to a person of this nature. That's fine. I normally wouldn't respond, but it made sense to respond, to keep it up in the front. And I pinned it there just to say that what in this video do you disagree with that he said? What is it? Which part of get an education, take personal responsibility, do you disagree with? I don't understand. And so until we can get past that, and I think it may be, I think it may be one of those things that we live in this time where the people have a voice. Social media being a great tool that it is, does allow for some people who are easily offended or looking for attention or whatever it is to speak out quickly without maybe really truly analyzing what they think. There's something they said, they just say this. We do have an issue with that in society, with the amount of information that we all have to deal with.